Annyeonghaseyo, all my beautiful people. Welcome to the alternate point of view, and I am your host, TraceyLee. Thank you so much if you have been watching this channel. Welcome back, and if you are new, welcome. I would just want to say I know you have lots of channels that you can watch this recap of the Rust trial, and I'm happy that you are choosing this channel to watch it on. I am giving you a little bit different perspective because, I do self-appoint myself as an alternate juror, and I have been an actress, and I have been on several movie sets, and also I have been certified in interviews and interrogations, so I kind of have an idea of what it's like to interview and interrogate people. And so I know what it is like to be that person who's trying to get the story out of someone, as well as being an actress and making the story. So today we continued with witness Sarah from the defense, cross-examining her. I have to say Sarah was the prop master, as we discussed, from day 6. Today is day 7 of the trial. This is a lot of work, by the way, for Hannah Gutierrez to possibly get as much as 3 years, which I find to be a pretty low sentence for involuntary manslaughter, especially for her lackadaisy ways of handling her job as an armorer. And after hearing, it's just flabbergasting to me to hear how easily it is for someone to be an armorer on a set, and how little experience you have to have in order to be an armorer, and how little experience you have to be any crew member on a set. So it's pretty shocking to me. And I will say that for most of the testimony that has been given, most of these people have basically made arrangements or made deals with the prosecution in order to give their testimony. So Sarah, for instance, is got immunity as long as she tells the truth, but she is testifying against Hannah, and she is basically saying that she hopes Hannah goes to jail for this. Although Sarah, to me, is just as culpable because she had zero experience. She was helping out with the armorer position. She was also putting ammo into the weapons. She was also handing weapons over to the actors. She took on that responsibility just as much as Hannah did. Even though she wasn't technically called the armorer, she was the prop master. So, but someone's got to take the fall, right? So I feel like Hannah is definitely the fall guy for this. I do believe that Alec Baldwin is doing everything he can to get as little punishment for this as he can. I think that he is definitely trying to get everyone on his side. I mean, my God, he's Alec Baldwin. So I think that he may get away with this. He did pull the trigger, though, at the end of the day. I don't know how live ammunition got on set. I will say, after watching this trial, as far as we're 7 days in, I will say that I believe that there is, and this possibly is happening on more sets than we want to believe, but I do believe there's quite a bit of untrained and unprofessional people on sets than we want to think. I do believe that there are a lot of young people on these sets that don't have the experience necessary to be in the positions that they're in. Like, you can't just make a 24-year-old an armorer and in charge of these important roles of handling weapons, especially if they're not even don't even hold a concealed carry permit, for God's sake. It's dangerous. They've never taken a course in weapons handling. They've never taken a safety course. They've never taken anything. So for me, that's a red flag. So I'm having some big concerns about what's going on in Hollywood. So for Hollywood to go on a strike for more pay, I think that, and then to be concerned about AI, I think that's the least of Hollywood concerns. I think their biggest concern should be their safety and training. I think that most jobs require some type of training, and Hollywood is clearly the least managed in training and the least inspected. I mean, we have a thing called OSHA, but apparently that's not something that is looked at on Hollywood sets. Hollywood sets are sets that you work, long shifts, especially if you're non-union, you work a lot of hours. I will say that I feel like Hannah is definitely not showing a whole lot of emotion. Most of these witnesses who are very traumatized are showing a lot of emotion. And as I stated, you are lucky to have a Band-Aid on set. So there were medics on this set, but they basically were like a Walgreens medical area. Band-Aids, bandages, Tylenol for a headache, ice packs, hot, hand warmers, that kind of stuff. But they were not like real, like they were medics, they were EMTs, but they weren't there. They're not there to like help you with a bullet wound or anything. That's not, because they don't expect that kind of stuff to happen on set. So again, they're really just there to make sure, if you've got a cut finger, you got a headache, they can fix that. It's kind of like when you go to a concert, they have EMTs there, but they're just there to make sure, they'll call 911 if you need it, but they're not there to be 911. So a lot of these people are suing the production company. A lot of these people are suing David Halls. A lot of these people are suing Hannah Gutierrez. They're suing Sarah. I keep saying Sarah Ferguson, but that's not her name. But they're suing a lot of the prop master. They're suing a lot of these people because they have been put in a position where they weren't safe. None of the actors, none of the people on this set were safe, and they weren't working in safe conditions. This was a very rushed set. It was a very low budget set, and this happens on low budget sets. I've been on sets again where it's so low budget that you're basically working for free, and you're working hours upon hours upon hours because the person making the film wants to get the film made, and they're trying to get it made so that they can get money for the film. So you literally work till, you're losing daylight, okay? There's so many scenes that are important that have to be made during a certain time, but you're losing daylight, or if you have to make it at night, you're up until the wee hours of the morning. I mean, I'm telling you, there's movies that I've done that we were up until 3, 4 in the morning, and then we had to be back on set at 6 or 7 the next morning. So that's a long day, and that was free, y'all. So it's tough, and it's not safe, and it's not good for the crew. It's not good for the actors. It's not good for anything. And then at the end of the day, when you find out that film isn't even going to be finished or completed or even entered into anything to make any money, then it was a complete waste of your time. So I would just say, I don't know which way this is leaning. I'm not really sure. I'm kind of on the fence with this case because I do feel that Hannah is culpable, but because she took the job of being the armorer, and I feel that she was very irresponsible. I feel that she was very disorganized. I feel like she didn't take the job very seriously. I think there's a lot of things that coulda, woulda, shoulda on her part. But I think as far as the production company is concerned, I think they hold a lot more responsibility because they literally just hired the cheapest people they could get, and you get what you pay for. And that is exactly what they got. And I think that David Halls, I don't know the man, but I feel like he is a coward. That's what I can say. I'm saying he's a coward. He took a deal. He got 6 months of unsupervised probation, and he's still working. That man is still working, and he's going to win awards later on. He's doing The Walking Dead, Those That Live right now. He's working on that series. There are plenty of those people that are still working in the Hollywood scene, and they will continue to work, and they'll go on to win awards later. And this will move on past them. Helena is no longer living. Her son does not have a mother. And there are people on this set that will continue to work. Jensen Ackles will continue to work. Not that Jensen had anything to do with the situation, but he will continue to work. His career will go on. A lot of these people's careers will go on. Alec Baldwin's career will go on. It has continued to go on. He hasn't stopped. So I feel like it's not fair. And then they're putting it all off on Hannah, this young girl who, had zero experience. But again, you hired someone with no experience, and I'm all for giving people a chance. Give someone a chance at a job, and giving people a chance in Hollywood is huge. That's how people make it or break it, right? But at the end of the day, you're talking about dealing with weapons. You're talking about dealing with people's lives. And if you don't know enough about weapons, then that is the last thing you need to be dealing with. No training? Come on. This is insane. And for the sentence that we're looking at here is 3 years. 3 years, you guys. I feel like if she were a smart girl, but she should have taken a plea deal on this one, and she would have been done. But for this to go to trial is really shocking to me. And her, that club attorney she's got, she has hand tattoos, y'all, and a nose ring. What? The unprofessionalism is just continuing on into the courtroom. It's crazy to me. This is insane. And every one of the witnesses that is on the prosecution side, I am sorry to say, but they're all cowards. They're all a part of this. They were all inexperienced. They are all just as culpable as she is. And they're all, they all have lawsuits against the production company. And they're all saying they're suffering trauma and damages and this and that and the other. I could give two craps about any of those people. It would be very traumatic. If I were on that set, I would be super traumatized, I'm sure. Because when you become a part of a set family, you are a family for that time being that you're on that set. You are a family. But I can just tell you that it's no comparison to what Helena Hutchins' family is going through. Not a single bit. Not one bit. So I would just say that, you guys, I don't know what this is going to mean for Alec Baldwin. I really hope that Alec Baldwin is going to see more scrutiny, and that this is going to show that he made some bad, poor judgment calls in order to get this film done that he wanted done. He was the main producer. He is the one who wanted to star in it, produce it, partially direct it. So I think that this is going to speak volumes for his trial that is coming up in July. And I know he's going to fight it tooth and nail. I think he thinks he can win. There's going to be some stuff that's going to come out as far as his text messages, his phone calls. He has some communication with Sarah, the prop master, who had no communication with Alec Baldwin until after this incident. And there are some questionable communications between him and some other people after this incident happened. He is trying to say, obviously, that he didn't pull the trigger, which can't be. He did pull the trigger. The hammer was cocked. It had to be. The question is, where did the live ammunition come from? And can the prosecution prove that it came from Hannah? That they have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. And I don't know if they can prove that. I don't know. No one can prove where it came from. Not only that, but Sarah threw away blank ammunition after the incident. She threw away ammunition. Why would she do that? She said she panicked, but also she mentioned that she threw away ammunition lots of times. Which, why would you do that? Especially if some of the ammunition came from another set from 1883. It came from a prop company that many Hollywood sets use. So if you're using and you're renting props from a company, why would you throw away that those props? Because those are props that go back to the prop company that you rented from. So you wouldn't throw it away. So she was clearly also very inexperienced and had no idea what she was doing. So this is just a debacle. It is just, it was a recipe for disaster. It was going to happen. Something bad was going to happen. This wasn't the first incident on this set. This wasn't the first negligent shooting on the set. This was just the first time that someone lost their life on this set. And it could have been more than this one time had this incident not gotten, I mean, it was bad. It was bad, you guys. It was really bad. So, Helena lost her life. Joel Salza could have lost his life. It could have been more lives because there was another shooting on the set that shouldn't have happened, shouldn't have occurred, and it was actually Sarah who did it. So I would just say, hey guys, if you guys want a career in the film business, you want to work crew, easy peasy, super easy peasy. You just gotta get on there and say that you can do props. You can do armor. So if there's anything I'm learning from this trial, I was clearly going about this the wrong way. You got to go in through the back end, people, and you can get paid. Yeah. So, and again, like I said, clearly more concerned about COVID than they were about safety, because they were muzzle sweeping. They were doing all kinds of crazy things with these guns and no safety measures, no safety precautions. Even David Hall said he didn't see the need for safety meetings or safety measures to be taken. What are you talking about? You're working with guns. You're working with children. You're working with horses. You're working with animals. I have been on a set where we worked with horses and they wore those horses out because they wanted to get the right take. And we worked our tails off in the freezing cold with these horses. And let me tell you, the wranglers were not happy because the director kept doing the scenes over and over and over and over again. And the horses were getting irritable and it was a pain. It was awful. And the wranglers were like, look, the horses are tired. They don't want to keep doing this. And it's tough, guys. It's tough. It's a mean industry and they don't care. Directors do not care. So we'll see what next week brings. Today is Friday and it is the end of the week for the trial. So next week we'll start the rest of this trial and we'll see who else they're going to call to the stand. I don't know what the plan is, but I can tell you, I really don't know if they, how the jury is seeing things. I can just tell you what I see is a lot of people pointing fingers at Hannah when it appears that, you know what they say about pointing fingers, right? So I would just say that all these people that are pointing fingers at Hannah better look at themselves in the mirror. How can you look at yourself in the mirror every day and think that she's the only one? Because that's not the case. That is definitely not the case. She's not the only one. She is non-experienced. She did not have the experience to be in the position she was in. I would definitely say that. I agree. I would say she was unprofessional. I agree. Did she kill Helena Hutchins? I don't think that she killed Helena Hutchins. I believe that she had a role to play, but I also believe that Sarah had a role to play. I believe David Halls had a role to play. I believe that Alec Baldwin definitely had a role to play. I believe that, the people they rented the props from had a role to play. I believe it's a whole ball of wax of things that people did. It's a whole bunch of things that had a role to play in her death. And I don't believe that you can pin it all on Hannah. So Unfortunately, though, I do think that 3 years is very small. I didn't realize it was only going to be 3 years. So for 3 years, I think is fair. I mean, I think that's fair. So if she gets the 3 years, if they give her that, I think that's fair. I don't think it's fair that she gets 3 years and David Hall's career is going on and on and on. And it's going to be just fine. And that he made a plea deal and got out of his little, whatever. Because apparently, as they stated, the AD is supposed to have just as much responsibility over the armor stuff as the armorer. It's supposed to be checked through him as well. Check the checker. There's always got to be somebody to check the checker. I've been on sets, like I said, where, I didn't get my bottle number 15. That's not my bottle. I got the wrong one. And you got to check the checker. So you check the checker to be sure you get your right prop because, you don't want to mess up. Continuity, people. Continuity. So, if you don't have somebody doing that, then it causes a debacle. One little mistake, and it can mess up a whole scene. And then you got to retake it. And that's money, honey. It's money. So, I would just say that, again, David Halls is a coward. And all of these people that are pointing the finger at Hannah are all cowards. And I feel badly for her, but at the same time I don't, because she took the job. And if she wasn't a professional, she shouldn't have taken the job. So that's what I have to say about that. And I look forward to the next video, and we will recap Monday. See y'all then. Kamsahamnida.